tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey everybody, welcome back to another awesome episode of Sense8 here on AFTERBUZZ TV. I am your host, Alexis Torres, and I'm here with the awesome, amazing, and emotional, helpful partner because this episode was
I needed you while I was watching it.
We should have just watched it.
That's really true. What's going on, guys? I'm really happy to be here. I'm happy to talk about this episode, although it was a sad episode. I was expecting like the action to roll over into this. No, just emotion.
It was so much. That's why we picked Mad World today, because they did play it in the museum scene, and it just catches, like, it pretty much just embodies how we're feeling. It is a mad frickin' world. But thanks, guys, for tuning in with us. This is episode 9, Death Doesn't Let You Say Goodbye. Please don't forget to go to iTunes, give us a 5-star rating. Also go to youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV, give us a like, thumbs up, subscribe, all that awesome stuff. Share it out. And both Nicholas and I will both be in the chat while we're doing this. Cameron is not here. He had to work tonight, which is totally fine and also kind of sucky. But you can follow him all over social media as the only camshaft. So let's dive right into it.
Let's do it. Let's just get into it.
Woo! I need to look at my notes for a second because
First of all, just so I read the title of the episode,
right.
Death Doesn't Let You Say Goodbye.
Right.
And I was like, what?
I was hoping I thought someone was going to die.
Did you? Okay, I thought that too. And then the ending scene, which I will just briefly say, I thought that, I'm like, no, they're not going to do this right here, right now. You know.
I mean, it was pretty close. It was convincing, I felt.
I thought it was very convincing, which is a testament to him as an actor. I mean, I don't know the actual actor's name, Lito.
This is why Cameron needs to be here, because he has all the actors.
He has all the he's the organized one. I just show up, smile, and chat.
I love that smile. It's my favorite part of the day.
Oh, shucks.
Sorry, Cameron. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But obviously, there is a couple questions I have when we dive into it, because we obviously open up on Riley going on this awesome, it looked like a beach kind of area, black sand beach. I couldn't really tell where it was.
It was a lot of, that's one thing that kind of was happening throughout the whole episode, is the cutting between conversations of different locations was happening a lot more frequent, so it was hard to tell, but the beach was gorgeous. Even though it was a cloudy and like a gray beach.
I love that.
And that
sometimes.
little cave that she was walking into is kind of cool.
Oh, Iceland. But she's walking in, and you can hear like this Icelandic song playing in the background. And I was like, ooh, this is eerie.
Yeah.
What is she doing here by herself?
Creepy.
And then we get Yrsa, I think is her name.
Yrsa. I wrote Ursa, but very much could have been Yrsa. You probably heard more than me.
I have no idea. I had the subtitles on for reasons.
Okay, yeah. I was more concentrated on what I was, and I was trying to put together what was going on. Like, I don't know if that's a flaw of mine as like an audience member. That's what I'm constantly like trying to put everything together, not just like in for the ride. Do you know what I mean?
True. Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask like what your overall thought of the episode before we like really get into it.
Honestly, I liked it as much as any other episode, but it was harder for me to watch at times just because it did hit. There was a lot of like life and themes about everything that I'm watching this, and I feel bad. You know what I mean? It was just a downer episode. It wasn't just like, oh, there's one scene we're kind of going to get
every single character.
Exactly.
Went through something emotional, whether it was good or bad, and I was just like, what is happening?
And I'm an emotional person, so I'm sitting there like,
Yeah, I was an ugly crier on this episode. It felt really bad.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I was actually alone. But I could have used your support. But no, so we obviously get a lot of Riley in this point, but at the same time, not a lot of Riley, because I was kind of all over the place. Do you guys know, which I'm going to, Nicholas, if you can look in the chat while I describe this. Of course. Where did Yrsa come from? Who is she? I'm assuming she was the nurse or something.
That's what
in
I
medical.
got. She was the nurse when she was born,
Yeah.
and the mom tested her for some kind of genetic trait. That's why she was in the hospital,
Yeah.
and she was the first to read the test.
Yes.
And she's also a Sensate.
Yeah, which was kind of ridiculous how coincidental that was, but Again, that's being me being.
I don't like the way that she went. Like, I am on Riley's side when Riley's like, but you told me, like, she had to get out of there. She had a hex, all these different things. In all these years, you're trying to protect her. Okay, let's say we buy that.
Okay.
You never reach out or do anything I understand, like, some sort of tough love or wait. Like, you got to do what you got to do.
Right.
But this seems unnecessary. When she's like, I'm sorry if I caused you unnecessary pain. I'm like,
obviously you
well,
caused
you know
unnecessary.
you did. Don't give me a fake apology.
So dumb. But yeah, I was a little lost with Yrsa because I didn't know where she, besides the fact that I obviously know she was involved a lot with Riley's life, but away from her, it was crazy. Very weird. We find out, gosh, there was a lot I wrote because that scene, there was a lot of stuff going on there.
I'm surprised that, I don't want to butcher the name, Shweta.
Oh.
Shweta says that they've watched all the episodes and so far this is their favorite episode.
I mean, last episode was my favorite just because it was a lot more action. This one definitely pulled on my heartstrings so much that I was like, we did get a lot from every single character, really. Like, we got this,
right.
I feel like now we've hit that point of we know a lot about our Sensate now, except for maybe Lito. That's about it. And Kala.
And I think what's cool now is that the Sensates are not interacting with, like, their back burner characters. They're all interacting together, which for me is more captivating.
Yeah, and I agree. And that's what we wanted. Yeah. But so obviously we find out that obviously the BPO funds projects like the DNA census to track down potential sensate. We also know that we know who got their brain dissected, which looked like her mother. That's what I'm assuming. See, that's why.
And then
it
was a child.
I thought that was young Will. Young Will was
when he pulled it over, there was a child, but I thought it was her mother also in the beginning.
I was so confused. Like, so if anybody wants to clear that up, that would be
Was
awesome.
her mother a sensate?
See, that's why I'm confused because like they rescued.
Because why would they do surgery?
I don't know. I just know that they said there was something wrong with her mother, and then they showed the scene of them dissecting the brain part, and then they pulled back and it was a child, and I was like, okay, wait, what? And then young Will's running away. I mean, I thought it was that little girl that he was
checking on. I thought the same thing. So
guys,
I have to say,
confused.
Riley's storyline confused me throughout this whole episode the most. Even when she was at the graveyard, I was trying to put together.
I was so lost. Because the guy that brought her there, I was like, okay, I remember you, but I don't remember you. This is kind of weird. Yes. And then she sat there and I was like, so is she saying bye to her mother?
And then she's like, when my mom came to visit me at school, I thought she said, and then it was a guy on a horse, not her mom.
I was so lost. And then I was like, oh, this must be a boyfriend, fiance, husband. And then when Cap showed up, that's when I'm sorry, guys, that were like all over the place, but that's how I felt.
That's how we felt. I'm sure they did. You listen, we are two very educated people. I'm gonna go on and allege saying I am educated. I don't know, but we can't be the only ones. Someone has said that Sarah Petrell was the girl.
Okay,
that's the girl that you referenced that we thought.
Yeah.
And that's why no one talks about her, and Will's dad was like, don't go in there, don't deal with that.
She was probably a sensate. They probably found her really quickly, and then they did whatever they wanted to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's just so, it's so crazy that it was just they jumped from here to there. I don't know if they were like, okay, we know that we have 3 episodes left, which is blowing my mind. No, I don't
accept it.
No, I don't accept it.
No, I don't. I'm not accepting that truth.
I'm like,
we can't wrap this up in 3 episodes.
That's why
Are you crazy?
That they shoved everything into this episode a little bit. Like, I feel like we got a lot.
I now get why a lot of our viewers are like, I'm rewatching. Because like now, if I don't have another new episode, I might as well just rewatch and pick up everything from the beginning now that I'm knowing things.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm gonna end up doing when we go on our break after 3 episodes, which is only 3 weeks, which is just mind-boggling.
Let's not talk about it.
Okay, we're gonna throw that back. But no. So that whole thing really threw me off, and then obviously Jonas and Will were conversing, and then now you have me thinking. I don't know if it was you or someone in the comments last week brought up that they don't trust Jonas. This definitely opened that up for me because I'm like, wait a minute. Yrsa said that he works for the Whispers and they're using them to get them all together. That actually makes more sense why he's like pushing Will to be like, go find them, go out.
So here's my thing. I think that everything makes sense to me except for the fact of why is he then in jail and why are they running these tests on him? If he's with the whole government and BPO, wouldn't he kind of have some sort of protection in that scenario?
Yeah, that's where I'm also on the boat where I'm like, I'm a little confused as to know why is he being treated like a prisoner. I don't know if that's just for show. Maybe. So that the sensei can trust him.
Now that he's made eye-to-eye contact with Will, like Yrsa said, she was like, well, okay, the whole cluster is in danger.
Yeah.
Because if he's already in contact,
worried.
then your whole cluster's in danger. I'm very worried too. I never thought, in the beginning I thought he was bad, then I just felt like it was justified and he was good.
Okay. So
what do we got? Answers? Tell me we got
Narul,
answers.
which I'm sorry if I messed that up. Narul said, I don't think Riley's mother is a sensate. And then I hope that was right. Shweta, I'm sorry. No, it's her husband and her young daughter that Riley says goodbye to. She's the same, and then this is yours is also
Hold
the same
up.
cluster.
They say Riley has a daughter and a husband?
No. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know.
I feel like I've never seen this show before,
right?
you
No,
guys.
that's why I was confused. That's why I wanted to pick your brain about it. It was because of the fact that when she went to the grave, there were 2 names there.
Yes. But didn't it... I don't know. I'm going to move on till I see next episode and things are put together. I'm over not knowing what I'm talking about, and the chat roll know more than me. I'm done with it.
Okay, so why don't we move on? I want to talk about Sun for a split second because the fact that she's in jail, she's sitting there, I think, reading.
She's just living her life.
Hanging out.
In jail.
Just doing her thing. And then, she gets a visitor. And I was like, ooh, I hope it's a brother. But it was her dad. Her dad is very distraught. You could see it in his face. And he admitted that he made a mistake and that he is going to tell the truth. I love how she was just like, this is the best sleep I've gotten. And he's like, I haven't gotten sleep at all.
So it kind of tied in with the storyline of who was talking about you don't realize thing until they're gone, whatever. It's not one, I forget. I think it was Kat maybe that was saying that. But her dad saying that a part of him died. He thought a part of him died when his wife died, but then he slowly realized, no, it was with Sun. That's what the living
and
was.
it made sense. That's why I thought it was weird that he was just like, I'm just gonna let my daughter take the rap for it. And in my brain, I was thinking, I think that's a bad idea.
I'm like, you're a heartless son of a bitch. How are you gonna do that?
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think that he was just like not all up there. He was thinking, this is the business, this is what I do. But I know that we wanted to put a stop on talking about Yrsa and everything, but I want to talk about my favorite line in the episode, which was Angelica didn't believe in fault. She said that it was the present, understood by people looking backward. We have to look forward. We don't if we don't, we won't survive. I'm sorry, Jonas was the one that said that line, but that during that whole scene, also the same thing with the love inside a cluster is pathological, and the worst kind of narcissism, and I was like, whoa.
Ooh, but then someone else is like, it's the truest form of love.
That's what Jonas said.
That's what Jonas. So they're really giving contrasting.
That's why I think it's weird that if Jonas was falling in love with Angelica, why would he betray them and lead them to the whispers? I mean, I don't know if maybe he regretted it and now that's why he's helping them. That's what I want to talk about in predictions. Of
or maybe it was the only way to save himself.
Yeah, I have no idea. That's why his story and actually all about the fact of what their actual purpose is really throws me off.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm also shocked that it's more of a common knowledge, I guess, this whole idea of sensates and them existing in the government and with the hospital and the
Yeah.
At the beginning, it seemed like not one person knew a thing about it except for maybe one or two.
Yeah.
Now it just seems like, oh, we all know these exist. We're just trying to kill them all.
Or just like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. But yeah, and we also had the Sicilium. They talked about that for a split second, which
the
was
vibration.
the psychic nervous system that allows them to visit and connect with others in their cluster, and the vibration, which I thought was super cool how they were able to do that. But yeah, I feel like there was a lot of good in that scene, but there was also a lot of bad in that scene because they didn't really give us a lot, which the Wachowski siblings are kind of good at. They're able to just give you a bunch of information. You're just kind of left to your imagination.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay,
maybe, and I'm going to ask you guys in the chat too. I want you guys to comment in. Maybe I'm alone on this. I doubt I am.
Oh boy.
Do you think, okay, we're on episode 9 and we're just hearing things about like Sicilium and we just really learned about the icon, it's slowly learning all these things. I wish we learned about this stuff a little bit earlier.
Yeah, like episode 4, maybe 5.
Maybe 5.
Yeah.
And then we could start to see everything in use.
Yeah, because I feel like, I don't know if they were, when I found out that there was only 3 episodes left, I felt like this is a weird part to start kind of rushing through it because there's only 3 episodes left. I thought it was going to go to maybe episode 15 to 20. Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Because we're just getting to the meat.
Yeah, which is weird because it's already episode 9.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if that's just us being nitpicky, but I definitely feel your pain because I feel like this was a lot to put at the very last stretch
Right.
of the episode. So I don't know if maybe they were thinking, oh, maybe we're not going to get a second season. Let's do How I Met Your Mother and just throw everything in the last
That could
4
be
episodes.
it. That could. I know. I do another show, Unreal, which is on Lifetime, and they didn't know they got a second season, but they didn't know it, and they wrapped up the first season, that last episode,
that's gonna
so
suck.
fast because they
Yeah.
didn't know they were getting it. So maybe they are doing the same thing.
Which, it happens. It's television. You never know. I mean, I know a lot of some of my shows that did end after one season. That was it. So, I mean, it happens.
If this doesn't have a second season, we're going to have to start some kind of counseling thing because I really do
there
need
has to be
Sensate.
a thing there, a petition or something that we have to sign. Because
Okay,
there's
I'm fine
no
with
way
that.
I'm not going to be able to do
We
that.
can rally our 16 watching now
Yes,
people.
please. Yes,
Yes,
please.
please.
But yeah, so the fact that I'm excited to see where this goes with the whole Jonas not being able to trust him, and I love how she was like being overly protective now, and I'm like, you haven't even been here that long.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
I don't
just
know.
walked
It's weird.
in here.
It's weird, but I mean, I like that I love how there was that weird angel and devil on the shoulder kind of dynamic between the two of them, but it didn't matter because they both love each other.
Right.
So it's like, I don't think it's gonna matter, but whatever. But anyway, so I want to talk about, like I said, we had Sun who had her moment with her dad, and I am a little scared that I want to get your input on this. I feel a little scared that his dad's gonna come out and say what really happened. I feel like either two things. I know this is again for predictions, but I'd rather just throw it out there because I want to pick everyone's thoughts on that. I think that either one thing is he's gonna say that his son was the one that went through all this trouble and this and this and I put my daughter in jail. So I feel like the son's gonna drink because he's an alcoholic. He's gonna drink to the point where he's so drunk that he's gonna kill his father, like shoot him or something like that. This is again me being dark. Again, I love House of Cards, Daredevil, and like Game of Thrones. Like,
First of all, I love House of Cards. I can
you know
take
what
a
I mean?
moment
But
of
you can
silence for
see
that,
somebody like going, like drinking and then killing Frank Underwood at one point or something. That would never happen. I'm just saying that, you know what I mean? Like
trying to give a kid a heart attack.
Sorry, but you know what I mean? Like you can see a character doing that. I feel like it will backfire. Sun will eventually, their relationship will everything will be happy. She'll get out of jail, and then he'll do a press conference, and then he'll die. I don't know.
Well, this is the thing. We spent 9 episodes with Sun's storyline building up to this. So if she gets out of jail, then what? They're going to reinvent a whole new storyline for her in 3 episodes?
No,
I don't know.
I think that's why I want her to have something bad happen to her, and then she's going to flee to find somebody.
To find or connect to people, or maybe the Sensates will figure out their thing is their overall reason of being and why and what they're supposed to do.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I know that Sun, I don't think anything bad's going to happen to her herself. I'm just scared that something's going to happen to the brother or something's going to happen to the father. That's why
Brothers are loose cannon, so we really don't know.
That's what I'm saying, because I mean, he was already disrespectful to her.
Yeah.
And then remember, his emotions are kind of all over the place because as soon as he found out he might go to jail, he like lost it. He just started crying and he was just like, please don't do this. You have to save me. So I can feel like if he gets betrayed in that same way,
then he'll be like, hey, y'all gonna put me in? I'm gonna take y'all
that's
down
not
with me.
happening. I'm gonna,
I could see that.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I haven't read anything. That was just what I was watching. I was like, oh, I really don't think he should do that. I'm glad that he is realizing this.
Talon's saying that the father may take the fault for the son. Just take all the blame.
But then that's what I'm saying. Or that was my second prediction, was that maybe he's going to go to jail.
I think... Listen, you have this new paradigm shift of somehow you now love your kid and it means so much after all these years. Maybe so. Maybe he is fallen on the grenade himself and he's just going to take it.
I can see that. He's like, why should I let my kid suffer? I should just do it. It was my business. It's my name on the building. I'm going to do it. But I'm hoping that's not what it is, but I also hope that he doesn't die. But I'm just throwing out predictions out there. Anywho, and then we're going to get we got a little bit of Wolfie today as well.
Oh, wait. What about the birthday thing? Were you shocked when they said she told Riley to ask Will when's his birthday?
Oh yeah.
August
I'm so
8th.
sorry. I totally
No, it's fine.
threw
It
that
was
out.
a little thing.
Yeah.
And they said August 8th. And
I love that it was an 8 too. Like,
mind blown. Didn't even think of that when I said
that was the first thing I was like, oh, they're August 8th. There are 8 of
man.
them. Okay. The numbers are all 888, whatever.
Well, okay.
And it's the 8th. And
I'm
it's
a
the
good
8th
viewer.
month. Get it?
Well, now I do.
Yeah.
I didn't
There's
before.
as I said, there's a lot of 8s happening
I did
right
it
now.
before.
Yeah.
So they all took their first breath together.
Obviously it's not going to be, because they're all different ages,
Right.
so it's not going to be like 8808, but like it was all
And that linked them.
It was August 8th. It's crazy. I don't know if like that happens every single time. Like maybe they all have to do that on the 8th, or maybe it's just this group.
I don't know.
Or this cluster.
This cluster, right. No, because if everyone had a birthday on the 8th, they would start to take notice.
Yeah. I
You
think
know,
so,
they'd be
too.
like, oh, I'm going to invite you over to my birthday party. And they're like,
Yeah.
no, you're coming to mine. They're like, oh, same birthday. No, they probably wouldn't do that. I'm just kidding.
So, but I found that very interesting that they were born on 8/8 whatever year.
Yeah.
found that very interesting. I'm hoping that someone wants to get a shout out from you while I'm looking at my notes. I don't know if you can see it.
Who is it? Nicholas, I'm here. Kaylin, what's up? Hi. Hey. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining. Comment on, do you watch the show, or are you just coming in to see this amazingness of the panel?
I don't know.
No,
I would like either way.
No.
So Wolfie is still in the hospital. He's watching, I can't remember the movie that they bonded over off the top of my head.
Oh, I don't remember it either.
I don't remember it either. You guys can put it in the chat. But he was watching it with him, and he's obviously still in critical condition, and he's stable. And then Felix's dad walks in. And I didn't know that at first. I was kind of like, who's this person? And when he was saying that my son and all this kind of stuff, I'm like, oh, it's Felix's dad. Okay. And so I didn't know if he was being mean at first. And I was like, I'm really confused.
Wait, I thought this was Will's uncle.
What?
Remember how Will at the beginning, episode 1, they were walking to the funeral, and then and then a few episodes later, he met this guy in the room, and remember the really swanky hotel that he went to?
I could be wrong. I mean,
I don't know, guys. Tell us what you think.
I thought it was Felix's dad because he was saying that you guys are both my sons. Don't make me choose between my son and you.
I think it's the son that they're stealing against. Remember when they first stole?
Oh yeah.
And then when he quoted Will's dad.
That makes sense. Yeah, I might have been thinking of something else.
No, because he did say a lot of things about son, so I could easily see how you.
Felix's dad. But I forgot about that. That he's the guy that actually. But that's what it doesn't make sense. I was like, wait. So if this is the guy that you stole from, why would you?
Why
shoot
is he
him
acting so nice?
Yeah,
That's a good question.
so
I didn't.
lost.
He said because Will has his blood. He's like, you have my blood, so I'm gonna give you a chance.
so
But don't
confused.
pick. What did he say? Don't make me choose love over my son.
Yeah.
Basically meaning like, stop. Don't do that. What you don't steal
I thought
against.
he was definitely gonna, because he was pretty much just telling him straight up, don't do anything stupid.
Yeah.
Don't be an idiot. Because you're gonna get into the same shit that you did last time.
But he didn't.
Straight up.
Oh my god, I'm glad to say Will. I've been meaning Wolfgang. If I've been saying Will for
You
a few
said Will
seconds,
first, so
I'm
I
talking
was
about
like,
Wolfgang.
What?
Did he and Wolfgang didn't say I'm sorry? He didn't say it
No, he
won't
just
happen
stood
again.
there.
He was basically like,
All the
F
sass.
you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah, it's Wolfgang's uncle. Thank you, Dave. Dave Noodles. I love your username. Sorry. I just wanted to put that out there. But yes, it is Wolfie's uncle. Yes. Okay. So at first I thought it was Felix's dad, but yes, I totally forgot about that. That, because they were. Yeah. No, I don't know if Wolfie killed his own father. Nurul said that. I was like, whoop. Yeah, but I know that he was a jerk. That's all I remember. But anyway.
Is Felix gonna get up? Is he gonna wake up? Are we gonna get him?
So.
You think that? Why wouldn't they have just killed him off? Maybe they're holding him side burner. Maybe season 2. I don't know what they're doing. Wolfgang needs somebody. And he's there.
Yeah. I mean, he has Kala, but for right now, we don't really know. Speaking of Kala.
Great transition.
We had a little bit of her, not too much this episode. She was being interrogated by the cops. It pretty much happened like the day, like after, or maybe hours after. And I was just like, these cops are asking questions that have nothing to do with the murder. So I love how he's like, do you take bananas? And I was like, what does this have to do with your investigation?
What does it matter what I am taking up there?
It didn't make sense because I didn't know if he was trying to like put into her brain that like this has happened for a reason and you shouldn't even be investigating it, or he blames her for the fact of the stabbing. I
don't know either way. She sort of asked that too. She said, do you think I have something to do with it?
Which doesn't make sense.
Going into this scene, I thought he was dead.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way he would have survived that.
I was questioning her fiance's, like, the way he was acting. I'm saying this dude is not as sad or upset as he should be. I hate to say should be, but as I would expect him to be. Then when we see the dad still on life support, it started to make a little bit more sense.
I mean, I'm not going to say that if you have been stabbed that many times, like, I mean, 50 Cent got shot like 8 to 9 times and he's totally fine. But I mean, yeah, right. But like in my brain, I was thinking, that guy got stabbed a lot. There was a lot of people there.
There was a lot of stabs. There was a lot of people. No one was around. No one saved him ASAP. She was yelling for a while.
I feel like he should have died.
This show tiptoes around really killing people.
You know what?
Because we got 2 people in a hospital bed that really should have been dead.
They should have been dead. But I'm not gonna say anything much because I feel like it's obviously going to move the story forward. I don't really know. They're just kind of there for right now.
We sure will see.
Maybe they had a contract. I don't know. But obviously, the cops are real shady. I don't know what was going on with that whole scene. It was very strange. And then obviously, I was a little worried when the fiance came up, was like, oh, my mother needs you. in the room, and I was like, wow, that's weird. What does she want? But then I felt bad for her because she's also in the same predicament of when they got married, she couldn't go back to the temple that she was already currently at.
So she has a certain amount of appreciation or at least empathy.
That's why I think that the moms are okay with this. Like, that's not a big deal. And so is Kala's father. I mean, he's kind of like, oh, my baby's growing up. But at the same time, he doesn't really care. He wants to make sure that she's happy. This guy, however, is like, well, my son's happy. I guess this will be okay. But I also want to break it up because you are pushing boundaries for me.
Go look at what Shweta said, because I didn't even think of this or get this vibe, but now I'm really wondering, do we think that his son is involved in the father's stabbing?
I mean, that's actually a really good prediction. I have no idea. I'm trying to think of evidence of why that would be a thing. Maybe they got into a fight.
Maybe he's competing for the business. I have no idea.
I mean, because not to be negative Nancy over here.
Go, I love negative
But like,
Nancy.
I feel like he wants this wedding so bad and the dad's just in the way, but if he has the business and the lady, he's pretty much winning at that point.
That's hashtag bring back Charlie Sheen.
Yeah,
winning.
winning.
I agree.
But yeah, I just feel like he's, for someone who just lost their father or almost lost their father, he's so calm.
That's what I was. And I guess that's where they could come up with a theory like that, because it does make some sort of sense.
I think it's a really good theory, and thank you for sharing. That was awesome. But again, now we're gonna get into a little bit of.
Is this when we came to Lito and his BF on the bench?
Yeah, we should probably talk about
in the art
that.
gallery.
Yeah, Lito is obviously. Well, let's talk about him in the bar.
Yeah.
Lito obviously is drinking his sorrows away, which I'm sorry, not to. As a person who is bisexual and has a lot of friends that are gay, lesbian, whatever, you ordering a martini at a bar by yourself as a guy is
I was
a giant.
thinking about that. I'm saying, what's
sign.
homie trying? If he's trying to cover things up, I don't think some kind of.
I mean, I'm not saying that like a normal straight guy can order a martini and you look gay. I'm not saying that. No. I'm just saying that usually
a drink to drink your sorrows away. I don't think anyone is choosing. I don't know. Are you choosing a martini to drink your? His life is crumbling around him. Yeah,
I'm gonna have a salted rim martini. Well,
I don't even.
It was so weird.
It was like a weird whitish color. I'm not a big drinker. I don't even know.
Trust me. Alcohol is not a thing. I am a hard cider lady. That is about
hard cider. Hashtag gluten free. Me too.
Hey man, it's good
cider.
stuff. It's fantastic. But yeah, like that was just like, dude, the fact that he was hitting on you right then and there, and the way that you.
Did you think he was gonna accept the offer? I did, for a weird. And then when the people came in, I saw him. He pulled away. But
yeah, I was like,
honestly
you're such
thought
a giant child.
I thought he was just finally going to admit and be like, yeah.
No. I think that this struggle with him trying to figure out if he would rather be in the business or be happy with the love of his life, I think he's going to be a tormented soul for a little longer.
I completely agree. When he said it, he said, I'm living two worlds, and they just clash.
The fact that you're talking to a bartender about that is not...
You know what I actually had that question in my head. Because I'm not a drink... I don't know. Is this something people actually do, or does it just happen in movies and TV shows that people go to a bar and vent their life to the bartender?
No, I've seen it. I have
people
friends,
do that?
I have friends who... I have friends who are bartenders, and they tell me stories of what people tell them. If you're drunk enough, they just start talking to you because you're the only person that will listen, especially in a bar like that where it's very quiet. If you went to a club, no, that would never happen.
I'm living two worlds.
You're like, I'm sorry, what? Did you want another drink?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay, sure.
I'll be right back. But no,
I guess that makes sense.
I have a friend of mine who works as a bartender. He's in like a weird part of LA, and he gets people that, especially men, mostly men, who after a long day of work, they get drunk and then they just vent because they don't want to talk to their wife, or they don't want to talk to whoever, or they don't have anyone to talk to, so they find their favorite bartender and they talk to them.
Hey, whatever floats your boat. I mean, I know people do it with like their hairdressers. I know that's a thing.
I do that all the time.
Hairdressers are like therapy.
The best. Yeah.
You just vent.
I love it.
And so they do it with bartenders.
I've had a lady who's been doing my hair for years, and another lady who dyes my hair.
Knows your whole life?
Knows my whole life. Can't help it. Jessica, Nora, you know who you two are. I love you all. Okay.
Amazing shout out.
But yeah, so like I felt bad for him that he obviously he was drunk, and he was just like, no, what do you think I'm pardon my French, I'm a faggot. And I was like, whoa. Come on, buddy. That's not necessary.
That's not necessary.
I mean, I know why he did it, because again, there was a lot of alcohol involved, and he was very angry and very sad. But I mean, like, if you are a person of that actual sexual nature,
You would think.
Why would you ever call someone who is also of the same orientation you wouldn't do that to? Like, that's
Exactly.
treat others like you would like to be treated.
That's-
That's
would-
the moral of the
I'm a
show.
hashtag that when I tweet this link
I'm
out.
just
Hashtag
saying.
winning. Hashtag tweet the other way. I think, and someone loved your winning hashtag. Also,
Oh, did they?
said,
Oh, I'm
yeah,
so
they
glad.
really
But
did.
yeah, I just feel that it was something that was extremely hurtful. But I understand that he is going through a very hard time. But it also doesn't excuse you, Mr. Lito.
Yes.
But at the same time, Lito went to the museum, and it's so weird because I just watched Frida. Is that what it was called? One with Selma Hayek. I might be saying something wrong. But the painting that he was looking at in the museum was the husband of this painter, this woman, which I'm hoping it's Frida. If not, you can let me know. She was the one with the unibrow who was in Mexico, and she was a
Shout
very
out
great...
on your look tonight. Not to interrupt, but when we get comments like that,
Aw,
hell yeah, she's looking
thank
great.
you.
Hair's looking amazing.
Thank you so much.
Well deserved.
But yeah, I could be wrong. I mean, someone please let me know in the chat. But when they were talking about the painting, and I just watched the movie where they were
That's
talking about the painting.
Crazy coincidence.
Like literally 2 days ago,
Yeah.
and then now they were bringing it up in the show, and I was like, this is so
That is
weird.
weird.
It's a really good movie. You should watch it. If I said it correctly, I hope it's Freedom. I have to look it up.
I'll be
It's on
looking all night
Netflix.
for some movie that doesn't exist.
I hope so. I'm like waiting for the chat to catch up. But anyway, so but yeah, the fact that we had the flashback of Hernando and Lito on their first date, and they're talking about history, and you could see how passionate he was about art. I was just like, I love them together. You messed up, Lito. You done messed up.
They're not done.
Obviously.
They're
I'm just
obviously,
upset.
and that's why certain scenes I'm not even gonna get that emotionally invested because it's a waste of my emotion because they're gonna get back together. And if they don't, then
I was right. It is
What?
Frida. I
Oh,
just
good
looked it up.
job. Okay, so you didn't know.
Yeah. It's with Selma Hayek and another person I can't remember off the top of my head.
Well, that's good.
Yay!
I just think that then they go in and have quite the. Hold up, let me ask you something. They called that a kiss? He was like, we went in the bathroom and that was our first kiss.
I'm sorry.
Okay, you did a kiss. You did something else.
Yeah, no, they went the full home base right there.
The way, and then he
Skipped all the
described,
bases.
he's like, I got on my knees, and then I don't even know. Did I
Yes.
write down what and then he said, I somehow, something about took him in much as
Yeah,
whatever.
Frida Kahlo, I think. I'm
Frida
sorry.
Kahlo. Thank
Yeah.
you, Nicole.
Thank you, Nicole. But yes. Nicholas, you are cute as too.
Oh, shit, come on.
Okay, but yeah, so of course they got a little. Apparently, the passion was flowing through his words, and then eventually it was going also into
Flowing
the.
in other places.
Yeah, I was like, all right.
So I
Good
think
for you, buddy.
I loved how it was Nomi that sat down. So Nomi gets back to her apartment, which I thought was a stupid
Oh my god!
move.
I wrote
Were
it
you
in my
aggravated
notes.
or no?
I wrote it in my notes.
What'd you
Oh crap!
say?
I just hit iTunes. I wrote it in my notes. I was like, Nomi is back at her apartment.
Dumb.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I literally was just like, that was a bad mistake. I'm glad that they had a nice chat, but no, why the hell are you there?
That's what I guess.
Straight up.
Smart. Once she said what she did with Will's badge number, that she
That was so
claimed.
freaking smart.
Very smart, but still, I wouldn't be at your apartment.
But that was so dumb. I mean, I get it that it's like, oh, they're not going to be here for a while because they were just here. I'm like, it doesn't matter. That's like, that's you being way too risky. But before we get into more of her, and I'm so glad that Neets is back. That was, that really freaked me out. Nomi, obviously, she was missing Amanita and wanting to be with her and everything like that. Then, they connected through that and they sat there. And Nomi's story was like the first thing that just brought me to tears immediately, because I do know someone who, I'm not going to put their name out there, but who has gone through something that is similar to that. But it was so terrible. If you haven't seen the episode, Nomi, when she was very, very young, she went to a swim club. She was part of a swim team. This is when she was a little boy. And she did not feel comfortable with her body at this time, so she wore a t-shirt and shorts every time she showered. That's pretty normal for someone who was going through a transition like this. And so the boys finally just hit that point. She tried to stand up for herself at that time, and well, they stripped him down and turned the water on. But obviously, I guess little boys didn't realize, oh, we're just gonna put hot water on this kid and he'll be fine.
That's what I kept wondering. I'm like, aren't their hands feeling the hot water also? Or are they just that cruel and gang mentality?
I have no idea. That was the next thing I thought of. I'm like, if your hands are burning, you would be like, ouch. I'm gonna let go now.
It actually gives me a pit in my stomach watching that, because
God,
you know what?
I'm like
why?
trying not to cry now.
It's one thing to watch it on a television show, and it's another thing to understand that, even in today, 2015, people are getting bullied. Maybe this exact thing isn't happening. Maybe it is, but people are still getting bullied for who they are, who they want to be, whatever it is. And I think this, I like that shows are, as painful it is, are incorporating it so people can have the conversation and see from an outsider, maybe someone's watching and say, wow, how cruel these things really are.
Yeah.
But she took it, and when she left, what did she say? I love when she said that her dad had told her that this place made him a man,
but it made her the woman that she is today. And I was like,
I loved it.
And I'm glad, because a lot of people who have going through this transition or any transition in their life, they see it as, oh, I can't change because this is what Lito's going through right now. But when they finally hit that point of like, no, I am unhappy, I need to change my lifestyle for the better, that they feel it's just a weight lifted.
The way she viewed it, she said, I used to think what they were doing was so cruel. And then I realized what I was doing to myself was the most cruel thing anyone could do.
The violence that they did for me was, I didn't write it all down because it was so good. I was like, oh, I can't write this down because I'm crying. But yeah, the fact of hurting yourself is worse than anything.
Right.
Yeah. And I completely agree.
And I was really... I guess we still have opportunity to see if that hits home with Lito and if he takes any of it and changes.
You can see it in his face that it did mean something. I mean, I love how, like, because he was feeling her emotions, like, he yelled, "Stop it!"
Yeah.
Because that's how I felt.
Yep.
I'm like, I like how they incorporate the audience reactions into their reactions.
It's massive. Even when they go to flashbacks and they incorporate the characters and then the younger version, from a filming standpoint, that is extremely difficult. Double the angles, double the time, takes one scene,
hard for me to watch.
And it's flawless the way they do it.
Yeah.
So again, props to the way that everything.
No, and everything about it was just fantastic. But yeah, so obviously feeling that, I was just like, wow, she is much stronger and very brave for what she has accomplished and what she has gone through, because that's getting second-degree burns as a child and living with that is rough.
Yeah.
Like, that's something that, like, I would never take off my shirt after that, and probably it would take me forever to get to that confidence again. Yeah, she said she's
still scarred from it.
Yeah, she still has, like, she said you could still see it on certain parts. I'm glad that she didn't show it, but yeah, that was just oof. But we're going to jump back into Riley right after this, because Riley, like I said, we talked about it for a little bit, that, she showed up in the car and she was coming to the grave. We found that her dad was playing there a lot while she was away because he missed her. And we see, like I said, I was really confused because I saw two names on one gravestone, and I was like, what's going on? And then we had that little clip where Cap is about to get into his car to go do work, and she's sitting in the back of the chair, back of the bus. And so they're sitting there and they're just talking about, how she didn't go to her husband's funeral. And I was like, whoa, what? Yeah. Wait, what?
That's exactly what I think my mind said those exact words. Yeah. What? Yep. What? Sorry.
Yeah, I was so confused. And then the fact of, we didn't get much from that besides the fact that her husband showed up to school or wherever she was at on a horse. I was like,
I'm a clap.
All right.
I'm a clap too.
That was great.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you got it through the doors sometimes. I'm just like, what? But yeah, I wanted to know more about that. But then we got a very touching story about our Cap there, where he had a little sister, and they were very poor. They didn't have any food. They were struggling. So the next best thing, which a lot of people do, is take the babies to a hospital or a nunnery or a firehouse or something like that.
You have to sacrifice your want or whatever for the actual life.
It makes sense because, mean, as Cap said, if she didn't do that, his sister would have died. And that right there, that was strike number 2. I was just like, what are you doing to me, Sensate?
All, again, as in the episode spirit, it would do that, and then next thing they'd come back with quotes in basically saying, in death comes life, in closed doors there's open, and missed it's the circle of life. And you know what? Oh my God, I didn't even know the words. I just sang some kind of melody.
I love
it. It can all be applied in our lives, because a lot of times endings do feel like permanent endings, but they are literally the seeds that bring new beginnings. And so
that's why this episode was such a very, positive light and negative light, with this whole thing, because it was just a very moving, powerful episode. And now I know why this is your favorite, and I get that.
I get it. I want to shout out one thing to Lexi Palumbo, who says she's wasting all of her data to watch this on her iPhone, but she loves AfterBuzz.
Thank you, hanging out with us. That makes me so happy. But let's get nunnery. Was that not correct?
I don't know.
Church. You know what I mean?
Y'all understand what she's saying.
Jeez, I was just trying, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought of nunnery.
So then we get into
The Abbey. I don't know.
Is that what we get to the rooftop?
Okay, so
Pain.
this scene, yikes.
It speaks for itself.
So obviously Lito is definitely going through that weird breakup part of the stage where you call the person that broke up with you and you leave
gazillion
several
times.
messages. And I haven't actually gone through this.
Me neither.
So
I've seen it on movies and TV shows. The
yeah.
way I live most of my life, through movies and TV shows.
Hey man, that's how most of us are, especially here at AfterBuzz. But like, yeah, it was hard to watch as he was getting drunk and he was crying and it was a lot of messages. There was somewhere it was like really like he was kind of like calm and then he would just jump right back into cry.
He used every tactic he had to try and get this dude to answer.
Yeah, and
Did you think he was going to answer at any point?
Nope.
I had hope.
No, I didn't. I feel like it would have. I mean, it would have probably moved it a little bit more where he was just like, I can't, like, I stopped calling me and like hung up. I would have been like, oh, I'm done.
I thought, you know what
done.
I thought? It's the type of thing when he broke up with him, he was disappointed, but you still care about that person. You know, if you're in a long relationship. And I thought he would have heard the desperation or, you know, whatever it was, the lack of life in his voice.
But because the fact that he was such a passionate person, the fact that he knows that this thing is not, this is a deal breaker. That he was like, no, I'm not doing it. But at the same time, I don't know if maybe he's off doing something. Like my brain, again, I'm gonna save this for predictions. I'm gonna save this. But anyway,
Negative Nancy.
Wait a minute. Just I'm gonna dial her back for a second. But anyway.
Oh man. Go ahead.
Don't look at the chat.
One line.
Don't
there's one line I'm gonna say. Go
okay.
ahead.
Well, anyway, so obviously we get the point where he has a gun, and I was like, what are you doing with that gun there, Lito?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Don't do that. Put it down. Don't. No. And I was like, don't do it. And of course the little flame come down. And I was like, oh, you.
I thought they were going to cut to black.
I thought they were too.
Before he pulled the trigger.
But I'm glad that they didn't.
I'm glad they gave us that. Someone did just say, I was laughing because they said he lost a flip-flop. Ha ha ha, Lito is funny. Didn't he say that on one of the calls?
I think he
He's
did.
like, I lost my flip-flop. I don't know. And I'm like, Lito, hilarious. But no, all joking aside, when he said the line, he was like, it's fake, like everything else in my life.
That hit me, and then it went to black. Or went to credits, and I was like, oh.
This show has a way of jumping to credits.
That was strike 3. I was done. I was crying.
I
was
always
a hot mess.
see 5 minutes left, and I never know when, because the credits take up like 4.5, 5 minutes, and this is when it strikes.
So let's jump into predictions now, because we have a lot to definitely cover into that. Because holy smokes.
Let's do it.
AfterBuzz TV.
Put my notes away here.
Talon, me too. My heart stopped also.
Ugh, I was freaking out. But so my prediction is I think that Hernando is actually not purposely deflecting his calls. He's out looking for Danny and trying to help her because she just took all her stuff and jetted off. I can see Hernando loving and caring for Danny so much that he's like, I'm going to drop everything and I'm going to help her because you won't help me because you're too into your own world. I'm going to go out and help her. I can see him doing that. Again, the passion that he has, I feel like he doesn't really think. He just kind of acts in passion. And I can see that. And I think that someone's going to find out, or he's going to find out from somebody that Hernando got kidnapped or taken because he was trying to help Danny.
Don't even start with that.
I'm just saying that it seems like it would be a good thing for Lito to because the fact that he talked about that he doesn't feel like he can be a manly man because he is gay, that this would be his heroic moment in real life and help him out for the love of his life.
I'm going to double down on that with you.
Go for it.
Only because I cheated a little. I saw the picture for the next episode. And Lito was angry, infuriated, and with a cause. He was I don't want to spoil it, but it looked like he said to himself,
this is it. We're done.
I'm doing this.
Yeah,
I'm done being fake. I'm done. Whether I don't know. I don't think he was like, I'm gay and did any of that stuff.
No, I think he just went to go find him.
I think he just went to handle business.
Did you see what Cornelius Baker said?
Oh no, I was gonna say Dave. I still wonder where the flip flop is too, man.
It's probably somewhere. I don't really know.
Let's hope we find it. One sock, one flip flop. What did
Cornelius Baker said? But yeah, that's also a thing that I want him to just kind of get out of. I'm really scared about Cap going to take the little girl, and I feel like he's gonna deal with the thugs, and then that's when their son's
There's
gonna
so
come
much
in.
to happen. It can't be 3. I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm a dramatic person, but I'm dead serious. I can't have just 3 episodes.
I know, but sadly enough, we only have 3 left. Do you have any other predictions before we go?
No. I don't.
He just predicts that there's not going to be 3
I predict
episodes.
I'm going to be upset after 3 because I want more.
Yeah, this season finale is going to be the death of us. Anyway, thanks guys so much for hanging out with us again. Don't forget to go on iTunes, which I'm actually going to read really quick before we go. Hold on, let me find it. We had it from, the title is Bring Me Right Back to Each Episode by GATRAF. Really enjoying the show. I couldn't help but binge watch the show, but I have enjoyed so much hearing your thoughts, reviews, and predictions. Fingers crossed for the announcement of season 2 soon. Thank you so much. Thank you. And it was a 5-star rating.
Woo!
Thanks, man. Again,
Thank
please
you.
go to iTunes, put a review, put a rating, 5 stars, 4 stars, whatever, anything else that we can improve on. Go to youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. Leave us a comment. We always read the comments every single time and try to answer as much as we can with our busy schedules. Go to AfterBuzzTV.com. Do all of the awesome stuff, SoundCloud, everything like that. We really appreciate it. We want to know what we're doing and what we can improve on, and just we like to hear your feedback. Also use the hashtag ABTVSense8. Cameron will be back next week. You can find him at the Only Cam Shaft. Where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Nicholas Grava, and on YouTube, Nicholas Grava.
And you can find me again all over social media as Torres890. Follow my vlogs, do all that kind of stuff. See me on our sister network, Black Hollywood Live, for geek, nerd, tech, for video games and comic books and stuff.
Woo!
Thanks, guys, so much for hanging out with us. We cannot wait to talk about episode 10 next week. We love you all, and we'll see you then. Bye. Mwah.
Yeah.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.